You can catch Mike Florio's Pro Football Talk every weekday at 5:30 Eastern on the NBC Sports Network. Mike joins us. Apparently, Stephen Ross, the Dolphins owner, says we'll have an NFL franchise in Los Angeles in the next 5 years. What's different about this proclamation as opposed to all the other ones we've heard, Mike?
Well, this time he said it's a certainty. It's a certainty to happen within the next 5 years. And then you've got Arthur Blank of the Falcons saying that we're going to have one, maybe two teams in London. And I don't know at what point people are just going to stop listening to this garbage. I've tried to use a word that won't get anyone fined. I mean, we've been hearing the same thing for 20 years about L.A., and there was an item from Tim Graham of the Buffalo News last week talking about how people in L.A. are giving up. I just think this is part of an ongoing effort to get people in L.A. to think there's a chance when, by all appearances, there's no real chance.
But why would they say this?
What's the downside? You just say it. You just keep saying it. Yeah, it's close. Yeah, it's close. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Dad, we're going for ice cream. Yeah, we're going soon. Yeah, we're going soon. We'll go soon. Just keep waiting there, Jimmy. I mean, I feel like that's what it is. And it becomes, and it continues to be the leverage for every other city that wants to shake some public money out of the tree to build a new stadium, because the only way you get a new stadium with public money now is with the threat of relocation or the promise of a Super Bowl, and the threat of relocation is far more potent.
Yeah, and I wondered if you did have a franchise there, the Clippers' sale price, does that have any impact on what a team would go for, let's say, hypothetically, in Los Angeles?
Well, I think on one hand, you look at it and say it's an aberration. It's a perfect storm of events and circumstances where ultra-rich people decided they wanted to own this asset that had become such a galvanizing force in the sports community. But if you're an NFL owner, you say, wait a minute, the Dodgers went for $2.1 billion. The Clippers are going for $2 billion. There's no team in L.A. What's a team in L.A. going to be worth? And in Buffalo, where the Bills are for sale, if the Ralph Wilson family is interested in maxing out their return, there could be somebody in L.A. who says, wait a minute, I can buy this thing for $1 billion. I can move it to L.A. I can pay the relocation fee to the other owners, and it's going to be worth $4 billion if the Clippers are worth $2 billion.
Well, that's where you bring it to an interesting point, though, because supply and demand to have a team, we're basically relocating a team to Los Angeles, once again, hypothetically. But if we do have a team in L.A., it's going to be a relocation, right?
Well, it's got to be. Quarterback play is all we need to look at if expansion is even a possibility. And anytime anyone mentions expansion, I say there aren't enough quarterbacks to go around. I mean, unless Tom Brady and Peyton Manning are going to play until they're 60, then maybe we'll have enough quarterbacks around. But there aren't enough. There aren't enough for the 32 teams now. And that's the only way other than relocation. And so who's going to move? That's the thing. They like to talk about football being in London and L.A., who's going to move? The Bills are the only team right now that's a viable candidate, and I think politically it could be disastrous for the NFL if they take the Bills out of Buffalo. So I don't know that there is a clear no-brainer team that is going to move to L.A. or London, and every few years somebody uses that possibility of a move to get the new stadium or the stadium upgrades that they want.
Most interesting training camp, aside from the Cleveland Browns, is where?
I guess the St. Louis Rams. I mean, it's funny how we just quit talking about Michael Sam, but he's got to make that team, and it's not going to be easy. And how much attention will the Rams tolerate? How heavily will it be covered by non-traditional media? Just how big of a circus will it be? Can it be? And then speaking of circuses, I mean, there's always the Jets where there's a quarterback competition unless there isn't.
The other item is, I think it's Human Resources Month in the NFL.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me what's going to happen with HR Month in the NFL.
Well, and again, they're going around and they're meeting with all the players on every team about locker room culture and ensuring that what happened in Miami last year won't happen again. And look, Dan, when I was practicing law, HR got involved. And I hate to be overly cynical about it, but I did this for so long. Anytime HR was involved, it was all about helping minimize ways that the company can get sued. And I think that may be as big of a concern as anything else, that the NFL dodged a bullet with the Dolphins situation, and now they want to beef up these policies. They want to make sure everybody signs all the paperwork that shows they attended the seminars and they've received the materials. And then if anybody gets in a similar situation like Jonathan Martin, they'll have everything they can point to say, he said he knew all the rules. He never said anything to anybody about being harassed, and we did everything on our end to cover our butts. And If anything happened that shouldn't have happened, it's not our fault. And it's hard not to view it through that prism when HR shows up. That's one of the very real objectives of their involvement.
What's Richie Incognito doing?
Boy, that's a good question. I don't think he's made any appearances on Twitter recently, which means he's finally listened to the people close to him who told him to throw away the keys to his Twitter account. And now that June 1 has come and gone, free agents can be signed without any impact at all on the compensatory draft pick formula, which is way too complicated for anyone to understand. But after June 1, it doesn't count. Like if you sign Richie Incognito, who became a free agent on March 11, it doesn't count toward free agency signings and departures, and it has no impact on determining those compensatory draft picks. So all the guys who are still available become a little bit more attractive, but Incognito is really going to have to shed a lot of the perception and reality of what happened last year before anybody's going to be interested in him again.
Thank you, Mike.
All right, see you, buddy.
That's Mike Florio, Pro Football Talk. You can see it every weekday night, 5:30 Eastern on the NBC Sports Network.